But Jerry did say he didn't want to talk about the Eagles because he's learned his lesson. So
He didn't want to poke the bear.
he didn't want to poke the bear. Is what he said.
Pour honey on me. I always say that, you know. If you see me in a bear in a fight, pour honey on me. So we can poke it. It's part of it. It's part of the National Football League. Whether we talk or not, we know what's ahead of us. Great opponent. Excited for it. Excited.
Let me talk my shit again. What it do, what it do, what it do. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. Welcome. Eagles fans, how we feeling right now? It's Victory Monday. We just embarrassed the Dallas Cowboys on national television. I am saying embarrassed, and I'm going to explain why we embarrassed them with one person in particular. But we did what we were supposed to do in the LINC, and we got our dub, and we going into the bye, and we need it. We got a lot of injuries. Our guys banged up right now. We got a secondary that just cannot, they can't lock down a receiver. They can't stop a nosebleed. Tight ends again, close to 100 yards and touchdowns. We got a lot of things to clear up. A lot of things to clean up and really tighten up. But going into the bye with a win against a divisional opponent that thinks they're great on prime time, America's Game of the Week, that's exactly what the doctor ordered, and boy did he deliver. That's exactly what we needed. I told y'all, when it comes to these teams, sure they may be divisional opponents, we just not built the same. The Dallas Cowboys are mere humans. We're talking about like Batman without his utility belt. Regular dude. But who are the Eagles? We're talking about like Goku type shit. They cannot mess with us. We're on two different levels, two different planes, frequencies. We are not in the same book or bracket. The record, sure, that kind of tells the story. But when you watch these games and you see how the teams perform and really you see how our team had to grind out to get this dub, Dallas could never. They really couldn't. And yesterday was clear evidence. You heard Dak Prescott, weird ass, want to be covered, dipped in honey, whatever the hell he's talking about. And what you should have just listened to Jerry. Don't poke the bear, because then your ass get turned into a honey bun on prime time. But that's exactly what happened to him. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. I've seen Dak Prescott play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys for going on 8 years now. And what have I seen? Nothing out of the ordinary. He's an ordinary quarterback with ordinary talents, and he gives up ordinary performances. Yes, he put up almost 400 yards yesterday with 3 touchdowns, zero turnovers. But when you needed him to actually step up and make a play, where was he? I don't know. I didn't see it. If y'all saw it, definitely let me know in the comments. I definitely appreciate y'all liking, sharing, subscribing. Goes a long way. But if y'all saw something different from what I saw yesterday, please let me know. Because what I saw yesterday was an 8-year quarterback. Looked like he hasn't been playing quarterback for 8 years. At least not when it was those crunch pressure points, pressure moments. I didn't see that. On our first drive, when we had the ball, we were backed up on our 33-yard line, But what do we do on 4th and 1? We go for it. Nick Sirianni ain't scared of these boys. That offensive line ain't scared of these boys. Jalen Hurts ain't scared of these boys. Me as a fan, I've never been scared. Obviously, I told y'all I don't have to suit up. So there's zero fear, zero anxiety when it comes to, Sunday. It is what it is. I'm going to talk my shit, and I just sit back and watch the game. The way it plays out, the way it plays out. Sure, it may be nerve-wracking, but in the end, I'm going to be cool. My life is still going to go on, and really, I don't have to perform. I just got to talk about it. This just goes to show you how different we are. Look at the stat right here. When both quarterbacks are trailing, night and fucking day. Just not even close. Just not close. I mean, even when they were talking about the Cowboys yesterday, they've had, I think, one lead change the entire season. Something I've never even heard of before. What that means is, when it comes to the games they've been in, the lead has changed just one time. They've had what, one bye up to this point? Not even? That just goes to show you when they're hot, they're hot. And when they're cold, they are cold lunch meat. Straight food. I mean, that's just one of those things. Even look at my guy here, Hall of Fame legend to be, Jason Kelsey. I mean, not afraid of these dudes. We're talking about finesse players. You're talking about guys who love to wear silver and blue. And this just inspires zero fear. Not to Philly dogs, not to Philly players anyway. We just built different. It's just what it is, bro. And a lot of these Cowboys fans, they love to talk about Dak's record against the NFC East, which is somewhat impressive. Sure, it may be. Especially when it came to us, the Eagles. Dak is 8-3. He owns the Eagles. They do not like context over there. Because when it comes to who he actually got those wins against, let's say for instance, like Carson Wentz was our quarterback for a while. How many wins he gets against Carson? Maybe like 2 or 3. And we're not even going to talk about Carson because we know what he is. Let's talk about our current quarterback, Jalen Hurts. How many wins does he have against Jalen Hurts? 1. How many losses does he have against Jalen Hurts? 1. I don't know why these guys like to play these games. It act as if they can't find the information on their own. He's 8-3 against the Eagles. He's 1-1 against Jalen Hurts. And really, let me correct myself. He's no longer 8-3. His honey buns ass is 8-4 now. Yeah, you see it. Put him on his head on national television for everybody to see. Appreciate you, Dak. That was a great performance, man. I definitely enjoyed the fact that you thought you was going to win. You played your heart out, and you showed us who you really were in the end. And I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, got to be one of my favorite Cowboys to this day. CD is one of my favorites, and Dak is definitely one of my favorites. CD because he's a dog, Dak because you're going to fold when I need you to fold the most. You've always looked out for me. I can't thank you enough, bro. Really and truly, from the bottom of my heart. You're my hero. But I got some other heroes. They actually wear midnight green. I'm going to show you a couple clips of all those guys, bro, because the way they showed up when we needed them, sure, the stats don't really tell the story of how they showed up. When you're talking about pivotal moments, huge moments in a big game, that's what they do. They're there, they're present. You know when they're going to show up. My man, Six God, Smitty, I called you out in my last video, expecting you to have a big play or actually, a couple big plays. And what do? You beat who a lot of those fans believe is their best cornerback right now. And sure, he has a couple pick sixes on the season. Sure, you can't sneeze at that. It's definitely, something you got to tip your hat to. You got to tip your hat to that. But what value does that have right here if you can't guard Smitty one-on-one? It's a rhetorical question. It has zero value. Yes, you guessed correctly. Because he's beating you one-on-one virtually every time. You can't guard him. Y'all can't guard us. So this is not a surprise to me. This is just evidence. This is just vindication. And I'm here to help all the Eagles fans understand and really help inform y'all that we've been in this team. This should not be breaking news to you because it isn't to me. This is what we should, continue to expect, and we've seen it before. I mean, he cooked Bland last year one-on-one when it was Gardner Minshew throwing the ball. And a lot of those fans, it was, oh yeah, they hung 40 on your defense. Not only was C.J. Gardner-Johnson not in the game, who was one of the best safeties of the year last year, you're playing with Gardner Minshew, and we still drop, 34? But this is what happens when our actual quarterback is playing against your quarterback. He makes the big-time throws, and we get the W, because that's what matters in the end. Y'all love style points. Y'all love fancy wins. I love to win. You know who else loves to win? Number 11, A.J. Brown. This is to put the game away. Because if you didn't notice or didn't realize this high-scoring offense by the Dallas Cowboys, they put up 6 points in the second half. That is a team that is fraudulent. I've been telling y'all. They put up 17 in the first half. They put up 6 in the second. But Dak still threw over almost 400 yards. CD had almost 200 yards receiving. So great numbers, but for what? To what avail? None. And this is what Dallas should be known for, and really they've been known to me to be forever. Because always I want to put on the great performances, but when it comes down to the simple winning, y'all can't do that. Another winner on our team, actually a Super Bowl winner, my man BG. We have 5 sacks in this game. Brandon Graham, who's probably older than me, and I'm 33 years old, we didn't even know we were going to re-sign him in the offseason. But what does he do? He shows up, and he actually has similar a stat line to Micah Parsons. Shout out to you, Micah Parsons. You know, you had a great game, meant nothing. So huge shout out to you. But my man BG has similar stats. He didn't have all the tackles, sure. But we're talking about 1.5 sack and a tackle for loss. I think he had 2 QB hits. And really, he showed up when we needed it because, again, Dak had almost 400 yards. So we needed those sacks in these moments. You see it right here. It's about to be a 2-minute warning, and you got one of your older players, captain on the team, stepping up. I'm not sure if DeMarcus Lawrence is a captain on the Dallas Cowboys. I just know he's mid, and he's made for that team. Continue to resign that dude because we love him over here. Didn't even notice he was playing. I didn't know if he suited up yesterday. Oh, well, actually I did because he had that dirty ass hit on Jalen. But my man, he lifts. So it's all good. We're going to get back. We're going to get ready after the bye. So it's all good. We're going to let that slide because we got the dub and that's what matters. And that's what I be trying to tell y'all. Y'all like to talk about the past. You like to boast about the big wins y'all had against teams that we barely beat. Can y'all win when it matters? Because again, I saw what happened to y'all against Arizona. And actually, Josh Dobbs had a great game yesterday. And he showed up to Minnesota on Tuesday and led that team to a W. But Dak's been in Dallas for 8 years. You can't beat Jalen Hurts 2 times yet. We saw what happened to y'all against San Fran. Bent over. That's probably when he wanted to that's probably the first time he got buried in honey. I don't know what the hell that was still. I'm still confused about that shit. But you got turned to a honey bun on national television. And again, not surprising over here. I've seen you for a long time, bruh. A long time. And you have yet to impress me. For y'all that are complaining about these penalties and said that's the reason why y'all lost, I'm here to tell y'all sound ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. Because both teams got called for 10 penalties. We actually got penalized for more yards. But what y'all do not like to talk about, y'all keep ignoring, is the fact that if you look at the very top, look at the red zone attempts. On the left side, you did guess correctly. That is the Dallas Cowboys. 3 for 5 is 60%. That's actually good. But that's not that's not how y'all been performing all year. Yesterday was an anomaly for you guys. Sorry to break it to you. The offense and really Dak Prescott clicking the way he was an anomaly. Because without any turnovers, without running the ball, what did y'all do? 6 points in the second half. 23 points. Y'all haven't been averaging 23 all year. But I've been telling y'all, it's the defense. It's the running game. Even the running game has not been as good. It's really been the defense and the special teams. Because Kevontae Turpin, I'm definitely going to give you an actual wholehearted shout out because not only you always impact the kick return game, you actually scored yesterday after getting hurt. So, hopefully you're not hurt. Hopefully, continue to have a pretty good, if not decent season that you've been having. Shout out to you, I guess, because you're not a threat anyway, so it don't matter. But those guys that are actually supposed to be showing up for y'all, i.e. Dak Prescott, I mean, right here, this is after a touchdown, and this is to be actually down by 3. Mind you, they had 2 more drives after this. So, had he not put his big foot ass out of bounds and actually picked up this 2, now they down by 3. And with 2 more possessions, you mean to tell me they can't get a field goal and tie this? Or actually have less pressure on themselves to win this? I really don't know, nor do I care because I knew what was going to happen in the end. That guy that wears number 4, that loves to bathe in honey, he was destined for this to happen to him. I was not shocked I wasn't even happy. I was just like, yeah, I know Dakota pretty well. This doesn't surprise me. It really don't. Eagles fans, huge shout out to y'all because I know y'all been supporting this team. I heard a lot about, the way y'all showed out in the LINC yesterday. That was dope, especially given that, nobody over here likes Dallas. Not even when it comes to the division. Everybody else in the division, we despise Dallas the most. So it's almost like brother in arms when it comes to that shit. Giants fans, Commanders fans, y'all know how we all feel about them dudes that love to wear silver and blue. We don't like them at all. So it was dope. It was dope the way that the fans showed up yesterday, and really, it was needed because we didn't want to give them any kind of false hope and thinking that they're not who they think they are. We know who they are. They're fraudulent. And I'm glad everybody else got to see that on the big stage because it's necessary. We're not here to convince. We're here to inform. And I'm here to inform you that Dallas Cowboys ain't that good. At 5-3, we at 8-1. There's a considerable gap, and that's the way it should be. We're at the top right now, heading into the bye. We need to get healthier. Dallas Goedert did go down with a fractured arm yesterday, so definitely get well soon, Goedert, because we're going to need you, obviously. And other guys got banged up throughout the game, so this bye could not have come at a better time. 2 weeks would have actually been dope, but being without the Eagles for 2 weeks would have been like hell. That'd been a very long time. So let's go. Let's get rested up. Let's go. Continue to work on the defensive end because we need to work on that secondary. That shit looks bad. I mean, CD had almost 200 yards by himself. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. It is. But these are the breaks. Again, this is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. Till the next time, y'all.